Balls.
This is DNC's Breaking Balls.
Balls.
On WEEI.com.
Balls. Our premiere podcast edition. What was such a remarkable success. They're going to let us do it again. Callahan's not here. Jerry Thornton is. This is big. This is big. It's called, by the way, Breaking Balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
as opposed to Breaking Bad, Breaking Balls.
Very nice.
You like
it? Yeah. I do like. Does that mean that I'm about to get my balls broken?
Or you can break somebody else's balls.
Sure. Because why should now be any different?
Well, correct.
You know? I mean, I've already kind of gotten the Kirk Minahan treatment. I've been treated harshly by you guys at every turn.
I didn't think so today. I thought today was pretty. We were pretty.
Entertaining.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say I didn't think it was a significant amount of ball breaking today. It was the usual.
No. Now, bucket list item checked off. Jerry Thornton's list. Officiated a wedding ceremony this past weekend.
Yes.
Saw the Patriots win, albeit an ugly game. And number 3?
Yes, I had a celebrity encounter.
Oh,
is that
really?
Is that what you go with? In a manner of speaking, yes. For the first time ever, and as I delve further,
Springsteen?
Yes, as further and further I delve into this media world, I know I keep making connections, and I really hadn't faced my nemesis yet. Face to face, actually. And I was at Comcast Studios yesterday doing the pre and post game live, and as I was leaving, Dan Shaughnessy came walking in.
Well, your life's complete.
What a thrill that is.
Woohoo!
How was he? Asshole? Not an asshole? What was the vibe?
I would say he was an asshole to me, but I would to further qualify it, I had talked to him once when I used to do a call in once a week across the street to the afternoon show there.
Right.
I called in one day like I always do, and he was co-hosting.
Oh, he was brutal on the radio.
He was filling
God,
in.
is he dog shit.
Right. No,
on the radio, terrible. Absolutely awful. Great. I mean, listen, Shaughnessy's a great columnist. I'm the first one to say that. But I think on the radio, I think he admittedly doesn't care.
So how did the greeting go?
I was talking to the producer. I'm on my way out the door, and he came walking in, and he just sort of pointed at me and nodded, and then kept walking, and I said, "It's nice to meet you," and he just never turned his
really
back. I just saw his back.
He Heisman'd you.
I wrote a column a couple years ago before I was on the radio full time, where Shaughnessy blamed. Remember, fans cheered when Castle got hurt in Kansas City.
Yes.
Shaughnessy blamed that on fans who play fantasy football, which is the dumbest. There's no way to connect. There's no connective tissue. And fans used to boo when guys got hurt before. I found 5 or 6 old examples before fantasy football.
Right.
Walked them through it, and so Shaughnessy wouldn't talk to me forever. And when we did television together a bunch. Wouldn't even look at me. Wouldn't even gave me the full Gresh. Wouldn't even make eye contact at all. And then it got a little better, with Shaughnessy. And then this whole thing happened to me this summer, and Shaughnessy was a real dick about it. So now we're back at the stage where we hate each other again, which is good. Right. I think it's good to hate Shaughnessy. I think it's good Shaughnessy hates you. It's good for your brand.
Yeah. So, and when that Castle thing happened, again across the street, they wanted to do a bit where they had Shaughnessy in, and because he blamed bloggers. In addition,
right. That's what I mean. Right.
The internet,
right.
These internet tough guys.
Right.
He went right for the straw man argument, which is all bloggers are living in their mom's basement. Just another lazy column by him. So they had me record a response, me and some other bloggers, including my
I remember this.
Rear Admiral from Barstool.
One guy was very serious and emotional. I remember this. Yeah, he's almost crying. Yeah, I remember.
So
it was a good idea.
They played it for him on the air, and I basically said, because the world was a much nicer place before other people had voices when the information was only handled by a handful of newspaper columnists. Like, you remember how nobody ever had a bad word to say about, say, Jackie Robinson.
Right.
What I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He was treated like a king wherever he went.
What was your reference to Shaughnessy last week, Friday, on your WEEI column? It was a good one.
I wrote a column.
You punched him right in the nuts.
Yeah, it was one of those columns where I said that if you scratch and sniff it, it's like a 1991 scratch and sniff. And that's, but I will say this for Dan.
Well, there was a cut and paste reference.
It was a cut and paste job. But he does that. He plagiarizes himself, which is a strange thing to do.
Is that legal?
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be offended by it? But he does it a lot. And by the way, I'm not one of these people. I don't like Shaughnessy personally. We don't like each other. That's fine. I think he's, I will say this. Is that it is a better place, and I know Jerry may disagree, and a lot of people on Twitter may disagree. You need Shaughnessy. You need Borges. You need Callahan.
A little balance.
You need people like that to keep. If we didn't have them, it would just be kumbaya.
Rah, sis, boom, bah.
Yeah, and it does. To me, that's nauseating. You need both sides, I think.
But my beef with him, and it's not the least bit personal. I don't know the first thing about the guy. It's what he puts on the printed page, which is it's part lazy, like you said. One of the first columns I ever wrote for Barstool was how to write your own Dan Shaughnessy column. I called it the Shankomatic.
Right.
And it's a formula.
Right,
and it's like
Vegematic.
Yeah, it's like Mad Libs.
Pope
like you
Peel's
just
Vegematic.
make an Animal House reference, make a reference to Bruce Springsteen, but it has to be like from like 1984. It has to be like from Born in the USA album because he hasn't listened to any music since.
Well,
then.
that's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Animal House.
Yeah, always Animal House. That's
House,
like the last
always.
movie he's
Andy
ever
Warhol
seen.
tomato cans. We get that
Yes.
now. It's
And then it's just trolling. It's this
Crap on Kraft.
Oh yeah,
Crap on Kraft. Crap on Larry Lucchino.
Yes, he's got.
But
he's
don't
got
you?
those,
I kind of like the idea that we have a guy in this
No,
town
that's fine.
who's like that. But you're right to recognize him. But do you want him to just go away? Is it better to have Shaughnessy around and Borges around those guys?
Shaughnessy and Borges, I say this all the time. They do complete me.
Right.
They are the. They
you
are
wouldn't be where you are without them.
the jokers to my Batman.
Right.
And one of the great things about the internet and guys like myself having a voice in this is that it's democratizing. Like I have to earn my stripes every single day, and part of it is to rip the guys who grew up in a world where the Boston sports scene was an upside down pyramid with them at the top and like all the coaches and the players or whatever at the bottom. Bill Belichick could get ripped with impunity back in the day, and they did. And only his success and the rise of other people being a voice to counteract them has taken their power away from them, so to speak.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And I think they both resent it for.
No question. But I mean, that's also part of the fun, though. Like I like the
Yes.
fact they're irked by it. It's entertaining to me. I like the fact that Shaughnessy hates me. Borges, I like. Borges, I get along with. I actually, those guys amuse me. They amuse me for what they do, and you need Borges to sit there because let's be honest. If you want to list everybody who covers the Patriots, there's not a lot of guys like Borges, and there's a lot of guys like the guys
Who are bent over with their sphincters.
or somewhere
spread.
closer to the middle. So it's good to have that. You need a contrarian.
Yeah, John, have you ever had an incident where you've ripped somebody and then you meet them socially?
No.
I mean, you must have, right? And I mean, because it's really awkward. I'm not confrontational by nature.
No,
it's not how I am.
No, I've had a few of those.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to me though.
Okay.
I mean, I don't need Marvin Hagler to approve of me anymore after I ripped him for all the stuff that he was doing. It doesn't matter to me. I want to change underwear here.
Good. I'll watch.
It's about once.
All right, and I have a request, if not an assignment, but perhaps a job for you.
Okay.
In January, I have been offered an opportunity to go to the Providence, Rhode Island Convention Center and speak to the annual meeting of, wait for it, the New England Turf Convention for 45 minutes. Now, they want me to talk about sports or anything I want to talk about, but I need some shtick. I need some funny stuff. And I can tell the duck joke, which, by the way, is the single greatest joke that can be told in 10 seconds, which I will tell. But I need some help from somebody like you to help me sort of compose the speech and drop in some funny stuff. Can you do this?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
Excellent.
I think I can.
You're a speechwriter.
Yeah.
You've worked with some people.
Well, wait a minute. You're asking him to do it for free?
Only written
I'll
for
pay
myself.
him.
You should pay him.
I'll
He's
pay him.
a paid speechwriter.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, hey,
writer.
just take me to the turf convention. What
true.
else do I need?
You
Now,
wanna hear
are these guys who they're talking about sod and grass
Yes,
and everything,
yes.
or is this like gang
Yes.
turf?
No.
Is this like-
Sod and grass and
You
turf.
felt like this was a change of direction from the Shaughnessy conversation?
I don't know.
How
Just
did
a little bit.
I gotta go back and listen. How you did that again?
I can always just
When
pull
is
out
it?
some of
January?
Shaughnessy's.
January 27th.
So you're telling me you can go to Rhode Island in January?
Yes.
Go to a turf convention?
They're going to send a car for me.
Oh, this is going to be great.
They're going to send a car for me, and I've got to speak for an hour to these people.
Oh my God, it's gonna be like mass suicide by the end of this thing.
I'll pull some.
Can you speak for an? I'll forget it.
I'll pull
Can
some
you-
witty one-liners
I
out of
speak
a
for 4 hours
Shaughnessy
every
column.
day.
Yeah, but there are commercials, and Jerry and I occasionally talk, and we have some guests on
Guests,
sometimes.
yeah.
and An hour straight through?
That's why I'm asking him for some help.
What the hell are you going to talk about? You tell like old. You've got a pretty. I mean, let's be honest. You've got a pretty fascinating life. You told all the stories from your history.
Yeah.
Sports wise.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done it before.
Yeah.
You could kill an hour.
Russ Francis, Steve Grogan,
Right.
Marvin Hagler.
See,
geez.
people would love to have you pull back the curtain a little bit, tell some of those stories, things I hear off air when I'm working with you guys or the other shows on the station.
Right.
Like, the
Yeah,
stuff
like being at Shea Stadium when the Red Sox were that far away
Yeah,
from
they
winning
kicked
the
you
World
out, right?
Series, and I'm going live back to Boston, and Buckner and the whole thing happens, and I'm sitting there, and I had my whole speech, my whole live shot rehearsed. Finally, for the first time, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, the crap hits the fan. And now it's completely changed. It's 180 degrees. And the first person I see walking up the runway into the Red Sox locker room, and by the way, Mrs. Yawkey was in there. Bob Costas was in there. Champagne was in there, opened. The lockers were completely covered in that heavy-duty plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were getting ready to celebrate. I'm watching this. It was like a Fellini film on drugs. And they usher Mrs. Yawkey out. Bob Costas comes out. They throw a tarp over the champagne. They pull down the plastic. And within 2 seconds after all this happening, Dwight Evans walks up like his dog had just been run over by a car. And I had to go live and change 180 degrees what I was about to say about the World Series to the fact that, guess what? The curse continues. So that was that.
When you make a career in turf management,
Yeah.
you want some color in your life. You want to hear some drama.
See, I'd rather hear your experiences with turf. Because to me, because we've all had them. We all have a couple of great turf stories. I
Nice
mean,
divot.
Oh, yeah.
On the third fairway of the Haven.
A lot of people forget is that game, there was a rain out in between Game 6 and Game 7.
Oh, no, there
remember
was like
that?
3 days of rain.
Yeah, remember
Yes.
how bad the rain was?
3 days
And the
of
Red
rain.
Sox had what, a 2-0 or 3-0 lead in Game 7?
3-0.
Remember the home run went off the glove?
Yeah.
Yes, with
And
Bruce Hurst on the
Yeah.
mound, and he started. He was put in as the starter. They had the luxury of
was
doing
gonna
that
be
because of the
Oil Can.
rainouts. And Oil Can wasn't the first guy out of the bullpen, and I always wanted to know why. And I found out about 20 years after the fact that he went on like a binge.
He left the town, right? Didn't he go on a bender when he found out he wasn't going to start the game?
Duh.
See, that's the stuff they want to hear. They want to hear about that. What drugs was Oil Can
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
it.
yeah.
They want to hear who slept with whom.
Are you going to take some questions or just an hour straight speech?
Well, they said about 45 minutes, actually. I exaggerated and said an hour. 45
right.
minutes, but I'm thinking questions would be an hour. They want me to speak for 45 minutes.
They're sending a car?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
See, like a
La-di-da.
typical comedy
It's a long
show,
drive for you.
say Lenny is the headliner.
Yes.
Lenny would generally do about 45 minutes.
Right.
That's a long
Right.
show.
So you can help me?
I certainly can. I
You
can
want to hear my
certainly
duck
try.
joke?
Yeah, I would love to hear your
Greatest
duck joke.
15-second
Go
joke
ahead.
of all time. You've heard this,
I've
haven't
heard
you?
it, yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree?
It's a good joke.
It's the greatest short joke of all time.
Good joke.
Guy stumbles into his kitchen at 4:15 in the morning, bleep-faced, staggering. He's got a duck under his arm, and his wife, pissed off, is sitting at the kitchen table, lights on, curlers in her hair, rolling pin in her hand. And before she can say anything, he says, hey, this is the pig I've been screwing. She says, oh, my God, you were so drunk. That's not a pig, it's a duck. And he says, I was talking to the duck.
See? Okay.
That's good.
See, right.
That's how you open it right there.
You can work it in
You like that?
organically.
You could tie that
yeah.
into turf. Yeah.
15-second joke.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Are we done here?
I think so.
right.
Another disaster. Another shit
Breaking
show.
balls. Jerry, good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I look forward to many more of these, I guess, and hopefully
You do?
I will not.
Really?
So when are you
Yeah.
going to get hired here full time, by the way?
I don't know how this goes. Like
you
there are
want-
no openings. How
You
about
want-
that?
do- Would you like to work here?
Let's say
Instead
that,
of going to Hingham every
let's
day.
say an opening
could-
happened tomorrow on one of these shows, which nobody wants to happen. I don't think is going to happen. Were it to happen, and they said
Oh, yeah,
to
it
you,
is.
"What do you know?"
I don't know.
Idiot. And they said to you, would you want this job?" And the salary was okay. Would you do it? Would you give up your current job for that job?
I think I would. Yes, if the money was
That's what I'm
was
saying, if
okay.
everything
I
was
don't.
okay.
I imagine from looking at you guys and the way you dress and the lavish
We're
lifestyles
rolling
that you
it.
lead,
Well, yeah,
we have his money.
that there's incredible amounts of money.
We
that
make
you guys
tens
are
of dollars a
milling-
month.
I would say to you that, listen, I may get fired or I may wind up somewhere else. If they offered you my job, I would probably say no, just because the hours are so shitty. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, where would
Yeah.
you like to work? 6 to 10, 10 to 2, 2 to 6.
How about being the permanent third guy 2 to 6? They have Dale and Holly already.
Yep.
Jerry's on there a lot.
Yep.
Let's just say they make pretend they offer you 2 to 6 every day. That's a great shift.
Oh, yeah. Sleep
Boy,
in.
Your kids are older, right?
Yeah. I've got a son who's in middle school and one who's graduated.
Right. But I mean, you have no, kids like I have a kid.
Yeah,
who's 7
exactly.
too.
I don't.
So that part of it's done. 2 to 6 means you can do
Sleep in.
anything you want.
Right.
At night.
Is it a good life? Like, is being a full-time radio person
not
doing
my
4 hours a day?
I would say no.
No, it's a great life.
I
think
just
it
never
is?
imagined it. I never imagined it even being.
Well, they're
going
to pay you to watch a Red Sox game or a Patriots
don't do
game
that.
on Sunday or
Don't-
Monday night.
Don't do that.
And then come in the next day at
Don't
2
do that.
o'clock.
Don't do that stupid happy radio guy thing.
Okay, sorry.
It's a great.
Sorry.
No, do you think it's a great? You think it's a great life?
I used to work in a steel mill after my 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. That's 8 years.
8 years.
Summers.
Well, all right, compared to
8
that.
summers in a steel mill in Pittsburgh. Freaking hated it. Hated it.
Well, that's
this
right.
is a little better.
Well, sure, but I'm saying it's not. Because people will come up to us and say, "Hey, you get to talk sports all the time," and that's true, but it's also still not always an easy job.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Nothing. I know. I mean, you're right. Some regular job. It's a good life. 2
Yeah.
to 6 would be great.
Yeah.
You want this? My job? I'll take 2 to 6. I'll go with Dale and Holly every day. Think they'd like having me around?
Works for me.
Yeah.
Works for me.
I can't even. I can't fathom it that you could just do this every day and make a decent living. I haven't. I've
dream
never
come
had it
true.
as part of the equation for me, but it seems like it's foreseeable. Is that?
I think so. And I will say this. Ultimately, what will piss you off just a little bit is people say, oh, hey, Jerry Thornton, they pay you all this money to work 4 hours a day. No.
Right.
I have to read. I have to watch. I have to watch Roger Goodell. I have to read outside the lines. I've got to watch the Red Sox
Yeah, it's
game.
almost
I've got to
6
watch
hours a day.
Yeah, we're up to
ridiculous.
5.5 hours a day.
Not
here.
right. It's
My,
right. Shop.
my life as it's currently constituted, I have the luxury of like skipping Celtics games because I don't care.
Yeah.
The Red Sox, I can't tell you the last time I even read
you
an
could still skip
article
the
about them.
Celtics games. I don't think I'll be honest with you. I don't think we'll be
Skip
checking
the Celts.
Yeah.
We could have taken the whole Red Sox season off. Think of the time we wasted
Ooh,
watching
as it
those
turned
games.
out, huh?
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well,
All right, that's called Breaking Balls.
This has been Dennis and Callahan with Minahan's Breaking Balls. For more DNC audio on demand at WEEI Podcast, visit weei.com/audio or download the WEEI Live app. DNC mornings 5:30 to 10 on Sports Radio 93.7 WEEI Boston and the WEEI Sports Radio Network.